That brings us to item number 8 on our agenda, which is the approval of our agenda for tonight's meeting. Do I have a motion? Mr. Haltwanger.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the agenda for tonight's meeting.
Have a second? Ms. Hutchison seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please raise your hands. That passes unanimously. That brings us to item number 9, which is the approval of the minutes for the May 22nd, 2017 board meeting. In addition to that, we've realized at our last meeting that we had an error, and we're going to correct that right now, and I'll recognize Ms. Bumgardner in our previous minutes.
Okay. After listening to the public comments last meeting, I reviewed the minutes of the April 24th, 2017 meeting and discovered an inadvertent error on my part that I would like to correct at this time. On that day, we entered executive session to discuss a contractual matter which our agenda described as discussion of a proposed contract with Contract Construction Company resulting from the construction management at risk, request for qualifications and proposals. The agenda noted that Contract Construction was the highest ranked qualified proposal in this procurement. The negotiations and potential terms for this contract will be discussed. After we obtained information in the executive session, when we returned to public session, I moved we authorized the administration to enter into the design-build contract with Contract Construction Company to move forward with the Chapin Middle School addition. My description of the contract was obviously erroneous, but part of us picked up on it in time. The contract that we have subsequently entered was obviously the construction management at risk form which we discussed. Because I've learned about the record, I would like to correct the mistake. At this time, I would move that we reconsider our proposal on the April 24th minutes. I make a motion that we amend the April 24th minutes. At this time, I would ask that we be allowed to amend my motion for the April 24th to read, we authorize the administration to enter into the CM at-risk contract with Contract Construction Company to move forward with the Chapin Middle School addition. And I would ask Mr. Haltwanger, who seconded that motion, consent to the amendment and that it be adopted nunc pro tunc.
Mr. Haltwanger. So I have a motion to correct, a second. Is there any discussion? Ms. Bumgardner, I appreciate you doing that. It proves that we're all human, and it happens, and I thank you for that, and thank you for the correction. We have a motion, a second. All those in favor of this correction, please raise your hand. And that passes 6 to 1 abstention.
I think I was absent.
Okay, all right. That's great. So that passes. Thank you, Ms. Bumgardner. That brings us to our approval of the minutes of the May 22nd, 2017 board meeting. Do I have a motion? Ms. Hammond.
I move that we approve the minutes of the May 22nd, 2017 board meeting.
Do we have a second? Ms. Hutchison seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please raise your hand. And that passes unanimously. Excuse me, I'm sorry. You were absent that night. That's correct. So that's 6 to 1 abstention. Did you get that, Ms. Stowers? Okay. And that brings us to item number 10, which is our welcome and brief overview of the Center for Advanced Technical Studies, Dr. Al Gates, our new director, Mr. Gates, Dr. Gates.
Thank you, Mr. Gant. You know, some people have a summer home in the mountains, and some people have a summer home at the beach. You guys have a summer home at the center. We're always excited that you're here and look forward to you meeting with us again. I'd like to tell you that while students are out of school, we are continuing to have students at the center. This week, we are hosting 60 rising 8th and 9th grade students at our second GEMS camp. GEMS stands for Girls in Energy, Media, and Space. We also have 15 of our students who are participating in those programs here as camp counselors. That is we are able to do that because of a $15,000 grant from Verizon. So we look forward to doing that again next year. Just this week, I learned that Mary Grace Strickland was elected the president of South Carolina Skills, and Clint Corley was elected the vice president. This is the 4th consecutive year that the president of South Carolina Skills has been a student from the law enforcement program at the center. Just this past weekend, Matthew Bonnet was elected the South Carolina vice president for FFA. That's the 2nd year consecutively that one of the top officers in the South Carolina FFA was a student in our Ag Science program. This year has been a banner year. In our 5th year, we continue to have unprecedented success. We had 1st and 2nd place in flight endurance at TSA, 1st place in welding sculpture at Skills, 1st place in digital video production and on-demand video. Hannah Ladig became our first female student in firefighting to receive the Firefighter 1 certification, which means she climbed ladders, connected hoses, rolled up hoses, carried bodies, not real bodies, but mannequins. So we're proud of her. The Gene Haas Foundation donated $10,000 to our Machine Tool Foundation shop. Santee Cooper at Mid-Carolina and Pittsco donated those 2 huge solar panels out there. Next week, we will be hosting about 10 teachers from the Southern Region Education Board who will be trained in clean energy. So Mr. Smallwood will be working with them out there. And we will be sending about 30 students to national competitions for HOSA, TSA, and Skills. Also this year, Jessica Jones was recognized by the National Association for Agricultural Educators as a 2016 Teachers Turn the Key recipient. Kayla Shine and Alexa Eyring were the South Carolina Young Innovators of the Year. That's the 2nd year that two students from the center received that award. Hillary Melton in the Biomedical Science program was selected to attend the National Junior Science Humanities Symposium in San Diego. And Hayden Spencer, a student in clean energy, was selected to attend the 2018 National Academy of Science and Annual Meeting and Research Competition in Houston. And once again, we've had more than 10,000 visitors at the center this past year. So, welcome to the center. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Dr. Gates. This time, we'll hear from our superintendent and his report for the evening.